Hi, I'm John Ruffi, and we're going to talk about the circle of fifths today. If hopefully you've gone over the modes, my other videos. By the way, I hope you'll like this video and subscribe and you see what else I'm going to come up with. Anyway, if you remember the Ionian mode, the major scale, say in C, what we've done is we give them numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. From 1 up to 2 is a second, 1 up to 3 is a major third, because it's a major mode. 1 up to 4 is called a perfect fourth, and 1 up to 5, perfect fifth. 1 up to 6, major sixth. 1 up to 7, the major seventh. And 1 up to the 1 is an octave. The eighth is the same as the 1. Anyway, if we were to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C to G, C, D, E, F, G is a fifth. On the other hand, if we were to start here and say 1, 2, 3, 4, G up to C is a perfect fourth. So from a G, we could say we're going up to a C, a fourth to C, or down a fifth to C, which means the circle of fifths and the circle of fourths is basically the same thing. It can get confusing when you start thinking of an ascending fourth is the same as a descending fifth. So what we'll do is we'll just call them ascending fifths or descending fifths for now. I've got a chart here for you to see, which is the circle, all 12 tones, in order of going up a fifth to get to each one, or going down a fifth to each one. Basically, fourths and fifths being the same, the guitar is tuned in fourths mostly. And if you look at E, you'll notice E, A, D, G are ascending fourths or descending fifths. And that right there, E, A, D, G, if you know the names of the strings, you already know 1/3 of the circle. You look over on the other side, you'll see there's a E flat, A flat, D flat, and F sharp, which is the same as G flat. So then you know 2/3 of the circle. But basically, that side by side, E to A, or E to A up here, we would call this a descending fifth. Now, I know I'm going up, but we're going to deal with mostly chords. So, E to A, or E down a fifth to A, same thing. That's what's called our perfect cadence. And if we keep going, D to G, F, or C to F, so we're going E to A, D to G, C to F, and you'll see that there's a zigzag pattern. And that's the circle of fifths. Really simple. Not only could you be memorizing the circle, but also memorizing where all these notes on the fretboard. C to F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp or G flat, B, and back to E again. So now, take a look at the circle, or adjacent chords are our fourths and fifths. And if you're in a song in the key of C, C is our tone center. On either side of it, you'll notice there's an F and a G. And there's a ton of songs that are built on just 3 chords, and say if we go to the 1 chord, to the 4 chord, to the 1 chord, and then up to the 5, G, down to F, and the C. So we're basically just hovering around that tone center of C. Same thing if we're in the key of A. D is on one side, E is on the other side. Now, these are adjacent fourths and fifths, they are called a strong chord change. Basically, you have weak, strong, and super strong chord changes. A strong chord change is when 2 out of the 3 notes change. So from A to D, 2 notes have changed. Same thing for A to E. 2 notes change. One stays the same. This is going to be important later on. But now, if we were to skip, say, from F to G, they stack up. Basically, every other chord going through the circle will stack up like that. So if we were to go around the circle, take every other chord, we're going to end up with 6 chords, and they're going to sound like this. And back down to G again. These are whole tones. If you were to connect them all, it forms a hexagon. Now here's where the circle comes in really handy, because what you're going to do is, as you practice it, you learn to hear the distance between chords. In the same way that using modes, you learn to hear the distances between notes. If we were to go every other chord, we end up with whole tones, or whole steps. If we were to skip 2 chords, we end up with a minor third. I'm going to go from a C, and I'm going to go backwards to a G, to a D, up to an A. And that is the same C down to A is a minor third. But also, A will become our relative minor tone center. Now, let's take a look at the circle in the key of C. Basically, you got 7 notes in any key. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. If we arrange them in the order of the circle, you'll see that they're all on the one side. The furthest away are the B and the F. That's important because B and F are our half steps in here. From B to C is a half step. From E to F is a half step. If we leave off those 2 on the ends there, what we're left with is the pentatonic scale. C, D, E, G, A, 5 notes, pentatonic. Now, C is our tone center, like I said before. You got F and G on either side of it. Those are our 3 major chords that are in that key, the 1, 4, and 5. Now, we have, next to that are 3 minors, D minor, A minor, E minor. The center of that, A minor, is our relative minor tone center in this key. From C to A, that's our minor third, the relative minor of the key. This is a weak chord change because only 1 note changes from a C to an A minor. Go one further from C to E minor, again, only 1 note changes. This is a weak chord change. Now, let's take a look at the key and play through these 6 chords in order. We would go from E minor to A minor, D minor, to G, to C, to F. Now, within that, we have our 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, the basis of a ton of songs. If we went one further and we go from 6, 2, 5, 1. How's that sound? Again, a ton of songs that came out of the 50s. In the blues, if you know the blues, you might go to the 1 chord to the 4 chord, and then the second time you go to the 4 chord, maybe you'll go 3, 6, 2 and 5, and 1, 6, 2, 5. That's where those sounds come from. And like I say, working your way through the circle, you get familiar with these. You hear chord changes, you say, oh, I hear that. He went to a 6 chord, he went to a 3 chord, or whatever. And then you can just play what you hear without having to see it written down, without having to figure it out. Now, what I would suggest is play all the way through the circle. I have an arrow that says this is the direction, primary direction of motion, which is descending fifths. Go through the whole thing playing all major chords, then playing all minor chords, and playing all 7th chords. And then isolate it to a key. If we're in the key of C, like I say, you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The order through the circle is actually 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. That's all for now, and we'll see if we explore this a little bit more in detail when we start to talk about altered chords and tritone substitutions and all that other good stuff. In the meantime, keep playing and have fun making some music. Like I said, don't forget to like this video. Hopefully you did like it. Thanks.